Shivan Narayan, 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 Bhajavan Narayan, 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 Bhajavan Narayan, 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 Shivan Narayan, 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 Shivan Narayan, 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 Shivan Narayan, 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 Bhajavan Narayan, 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 Bhajavan Narayan, 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 Shivan Narayan, 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 Shivan Narayan, 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 Shivan Narayan, 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 Bhajavan Narayan, 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 Bhajavan Narayan, 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 Shivan Narayan, 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 Shivan Narayan, 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 Bhajavan Narayan, 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 Bhajavan Narayan, 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 Shivan Narayan, 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 Shivan Narayan, 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 Bhajavan Narayan, 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 Shivan Narayan, 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 Shivan Narayan, 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 Shivan Narayan, 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 Bhajavan Narayan, Narayan, Narayan.
Let's take a moment and just allow yourself to close the eyes gently. And allow your awareness to gently pull from the world outside you, the constantly changing sights and sounds and smells, to the world inside you, the spaciousness, the stability, the expansion, the light. Just draw that awareness in. And allow the awareness to pull into your breath. Don't try to change the breath. Just let it be like a magnet for the awareness. As you exhale, just let it go. There's so much that we hold on to. So many stories so much drama, attachments, anger, grudges, false identities, so much. All of that which is bouncing around in the mind. But just let it go. As you exhale, very consciously, let these things go one by one. Just breathe them back out to the universe. On each exhalation, just let yourself get freer and freer and drop deeper and deeper as you exhale. Drop deeper and deeper into the very core of yourself. Drop deep down into your Swadhisthana chakra, this energy center that sits just about 2 inches below your belly button. As you exhale, just allow yourself to drop. You're exhaling deeply, letting go. And drop down on each exhalation, down into this energy center, just below the belly button. And then allow yourself to take your next inhalation from there, from that Swadhisthana chakra. In Sanskrit, Swadhisthana means the place of the self. So let the next inhalation come from there. And as you inhale from that Swadhisthana chakra, allow the breath to rise on the inhalation. Allow it to rise up through the energetic being, all the way up to your third eye center, the Agya chakra, just between the eyebrows. And then exhale. And let it drop back down to the Swadhisthana chakra. And if you can't carry the breath all the way up to the third eye on one unbroken, easy inhalation, don't worry. Just take it as high as you can gently go. And then let go and drop back down into the Swadhisthana chakra. Take the breaths at your own pace. Slow, deep, and easy. Rising up on the inhalations. Closer and closer to that divine eye, divine sight. And dropping down on the exhalations, letting go of all of that which is not self. Letting go, breathing back into the universe, and dropping deeper and deeper. If the mind wanders or gets distracted, just gently bring it back. Don't yell at it, but don't get lost in wherever it goes. Just gently bring it back. Back to the breath, the rising and the dropping. Slowly and gently, bring the palms together at chest level in Namaste. And gently rub the palms of the hands together. And then press the palms of those hands into your closed eyes. And slowly lower the hands and open your eyes. Welcome to Satsang. So beautiful to be together with all of you. We begin satsang as always with a question that comes in from our family joining from all over the world through this gift of technology and internet. And then we'll open it up to any questions that any of you have. There's a microphone in the center, so feel free to just come up to the mic, share your name, share where you're from, and ask your question. Kids are feeling really lost with everything that's going on in this fast-paced world. What can we do to help them? And what is the best way to raise them? It's so interesting because children learn and absorb what we give them. If they're feeling lost, I guarantee you it is because we have taught them to feel lost. I agree the world is moving at a pace that is definitely fast. Some of us would even say too fast. And yet, children are remarkably adaptable, resilient. And the reason for that is that their brains are literally growing in the world they're born into. Children don't know what speed the world is supposed to be. Their brain adapts over the first approximately 20 years of life to the world they live in. It's why trauma, for example, in early childhood has such long-lasting ramifications, because our brain actually forms and develops accordingly. It's why we emphasize sanskaras for the kids, because it's actually creating their brain. The reason that they are lost, in my opinion, is because we are telling them things that are not being substantiated by what they're seeing. So we're teaching them one thing with our words, but showing them something different with our actions. Naturally, they're confused. And B, because we are telling them things that are not in alignment with their own experience. And as we grow, we tend to, tragically, sort of allow ourselves to be more and more like culturally indoctrinated. We call it socialized, but it's much more indoctrinated into the worldview. Whatever myth, whatever lie, whatever story we are being raised with. As we get older and older, we tend to kind of go along with it more. Don't rock the boat. This is how things are. This is how things have always been. But kids are not like that, especially this generation of kids. They will notice, they will comment if we are teaching them one thing but acting in a different way. So for example, if we are saying, the most important thing is to be honest, to be caring, to be compassionate, to be spiritually connected. But then we personally are insanely materialistic, judgmental. We are angry, we are reactive, we are triggering. The conversations that they overhear us having are superficial, commercial, materialistic, all of that. They're going to notice it. And they're going to feel lost. Or if we say the most important thing in life is, we give them a beautiful spiritual teaching. The most important thing in life is discovering the truth of who you are. Beautiful. We should tell our children that. But then when we live by saying things like, I'll only be happy if you buy me this, or it's your fault that I'm unhappy, or this way that you spoke to me, or this way that you acted, it has stolen my peace, or I have to make more money because if I make more money, then I can buy these things and then I'll be happy. So we're telling them one thing for their lives, but then we're living a totally different way in our lives. And it makes kids really confused. It also, by the way, makes their respect for us plummet. Because they're smart and they understand they're saying one thing, doing another thing. And we see this all the time. Parents will say to Pujya Swamiji, to myself, at Samjao school, like, explain to my kids, do something with them. And the kids will say to us, typically not in front of the parents, but sometimes in front of them, they're a mess, this is what they do, they say one thing in front of you, the moment that they're at home, they're like this, they're like that. The best way to keep kids anchored and grounded is in reliability, in predictability. Live what you speak and speak what you live. Honesty. when things are in alignment, we get anchored and grounded kids. So that's one really important piece. The other piece is that the world is fast-paced, but that which is really forming their brains, their minds, their nervous systems is what's happening at home and what's happening in the nervous system of their parents. The very best indicator of mentally healthy children has nothing to do with the education they get. It has nothing to do with the access that they have, has nothing to do with rich or poor, but it has everything to do with the stability of their parents, and especially of their parents together. If they're in a situation where the parents are fighting a lot, it's going to destabilize the kids. So we are at home the very first and most important formers of their minds, of their brains, of their nervous systems, of their lives. So that gives us a beautiful opportunity and also a beautiful challenge. When we're lost, when we're running around like chickens with our heads cut off, when we are constantly saying, oh my God this, oh my God that, oh this, oh that, oh I'm tired, oh I'm exhausted, oh I'm stressed, it's what they learn. These days, young kids, single-digit aged kids, I'm so stressed. I mean, really, it's amazing. Pujya Swamiji and I talk about it all the time. 8, 9-year-old kids, I'm so stressed. Now, on the one hand, I believe them. They're living in stressful times. They're probably living in a stressful family. But I also think that a huge part of that is them just picking up what their parents are saying, what they're hearing. If everybody around them is stressed, oh, I'm so stressed. It's what they learn is the new normal. This is how we're supposed to be. The other thing that tragically we do is we wear our stress like a badge of honor. I only slept an hour and a half last night. Oh yeah, well I only get 3 hours on average every night because I work until 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm at my desk at 3 and I barely sleep. I had my lunch today in the car. We do it like a badge of honor. And what our kids learn is that is the way to live. This is success. Be frazzled, be stressed, don't have time for anything. And so naturally they're going to be lost. Naturally they're going to be confused. The best way to raise kids, number 1, your own spiritual practice. Tragically, so many parents say, I don't have time for my meditation because I'm trying to spend more time with my kids or do things with my kids. I guarantee you, the very best thing you can do for your kids, meditate. Spend time with them also. I'm not saying you have to meditate 4 hours a day, but your children would be so much better off if you took 15 minutes a day away from them and spent it meditating. So number 1 best way to raise your kids, meditate. Even better, let them sit next to you while you meditate. You want to be together? Great. Depending on their age, family meditation. They learn it. They learn to do that. Then instead of raising kids who are running around saying, oh my God, I'm so stressed, because that's what they learn. We raise kids who know, oh, what do we do in the morning? We meditate. What do we do when we come home from work and we've had a bad or hard day? No, we don't bite each other's heads off. No, we don't sit down and pop open a bottle of something or a can of something that's going to take the edge off. We go to meditate. What do we do when we're having a disagreement with a partner? No, we don't slam the door and run out of the house and come back the next day. We go to meditate. So not only is it good for us, but it's teaching our kids, oh, this is how I handle life. Things will happen, but I have this tool, and it's called meditation. A really good friend of mine, when her daughter was 5 or 6, my friend walked into her bedroom one day, and the bedroom was kind of dark, and she flipped on the lights. She didn't realize her daughter was sitting there. She flipped on the lights, and her daughter, 5 or 6 years old, was sitting at my friend's meditation area, and she opens her eyes, and she turns around, and she says, "Mom, I'm meditating." That's what they learn. She learns, this is what Mom does. Oh, this is what I do. Mom meditates when she comes home. I meditate when I come home. So that's the number 1 best thing to do. Number 2 best thing to do is you slow down. Slow down. It's better to do less, but do it calmly. And not only is it better for your emotional state and your nervous system, but it's actually better for your work. Anybody who thinks that by multitasking they are achieving more is living in an illusion. And it's an illusion today that all the research is bearing out. You don't trust me? Go to Google. All the research today is showing that actually, when we multitask, not only are our brains frazzled, but we are accomplishing less in the same amount of time. We feel like, oh, I'm accomplishing so much, I'm doing 5 things simultaneously. But I'm not actually even doing one of those things well. So slow down. Better for you, better for your work, better for your kids. Stop wearing a badge of honor about how frazzled you are, about how little you sleep, about how stressed you are. It's a problem to be solved, not a badge of honor to be worn. Let your kids know that. And if you're in a stressful time, it happens to all of us, say things to them like, this is a very stressful time. I am working on solving it. To help them understand, it's like saying, I have a flu, I'm going to go to the doctor, or I'm going to take rest and drink fluids. I understand that this flu is not something I want to hold on to. I want to heal from it. In the same way, I want to heal from this stress, from this overbusyness. Let them understand you're working to fix it. Not that you're teaching them that's the way it is. With regard to this super, super fast pace as well, as much time as you can spend in nature, it's the best thing for you, it's the best thing for your kids. Every single electrical appliance, if it doesn't have earthing, we see it here all the time. Before I came to India, growing up in America, I had never experienced what happens when electricity doesn't have grounding, earthing. But here, it's kind of a relatively new thing to have all over the place. There's still lots of places that don't have it. And you touch something and you get a shock. It's not enough to kill you, but it's certainly enough to, you touch a laptop. When I first got here, we had to make sure that everybody broke the take your shoes off at the door rule and actually wore your shoes into the office, because if you touched a computer in your bare feet, you'd get a shock. So we understand that our electrical appliance need that earthing, need that grounding, or they shock us. When we're not grounded, earthed, our internal nervous system electricity is like a wire with no earthing. It's like this. And then not only do we feel that current, but we end up creating it around us. When you're around someone who is frazzled, we pick it up, we feel it, we're energetic beings. Nature, dirt, water, sand, trees, grass, bare feet, bare hands. We have become so over-sanitized these days that not only are we ruining our kids' immune systems, quite literally, creating allergies, creating low immunity, creating autoimmune diseases, because we have over-disinfected them. But what we're also doing is preventing them from earthing and grounding. Let your kids have their hands in the dirt, their bare feet in the dirt, playing in sand, playing in trees, hugging trees. It's the best thing for them. And the very last thing, I mean, there's so much more, but just last for right now. The very last, most important thing to do for raising your kids is just make sure that they know they are not their achievements. Make sure that your love and appreciation of them is not tied in to report cards, to completion of chores, non-completion of chores, to anything they do or don't do. Have discipline. By all means, reward them, punish them, but not with your love. Find other rewards and punishments. Ground them from parties, they don't get dessert, they don't get toys, they can't go out, whatever it is. But don't use your love, your approval, or your emotional state. That's the other thing we do, is we totally emotionally manipulate our kids. Wait till your father comes home and sees that report card. He's going to be so angry. Like suddenly it's the poor kid's responsibility what my dad's emotional state is. That's a heavy load to put on a kid. Aside from the fear if the father happens to be, of the hand-raising sort. Your emotional state is not your children's responsibility. Urge them, encourage them, discipline them to do chores, to work in school, to be sincere. But not through emotional manipulation and not through your love. Let them know that who they are is perfect, lovable, worthy, complete, whole, regardless of whether they fail every single class they're in. There'll be other ramifications, but not in your love. Let them grow knowing, I am worthy. I am divine, I am lovable, I am whole, not because of what I do, but because of who I am. Yeah, great question. Other questions? Yes, please. Yes, come to the microphone. भैया ये माइक थोड़ा सा और इस तरफ ले आना, थोड़ा सा और, बस.
Just one question.
Sure.
How to live alone?
I'm so sorry?
How to live alone?
How to?
Live alone.
How to live alone. In the prayers that we have every morning at 5 here in this very hall, there's a beautiful line that says, Tu akhale nahi pyare, Ram tere saath mein. You are never alone. You may not have other human beings occupying the same space you're in, but you're there. You're there. God's there. You're not alone at all. Cultivate a relationship with yourself. Think about the sages, the yogis, the mystics who lived for most of their lives in many cases, either in caves, in mountains, or wandering, in the case of so many of them, wandering in holy places. Even those who didn't spend their entire lives alone, they spent large periods of time alone. But they never felt lonely, because it was a time of diving deep into who they are. Use this time. Use this time. For right now, you are alone, in terms of no other human beings in the space. Use it to learn, oh, I'm here. Who am I? I mean, think about it. Let's say someone else was alone, and they were very unhappy that they were alone, and you said, okay, I'll come over. Now you've come over. Now they're happy because you are there. Who is the you who has just changed that other person's aloneness from being a state of misery of being alone to a state of joy of being with you? Well, you have that person with you. That same person who ended their aloneness, who brought them joy, that's you. So ask yourself, who is that? And can I bring the same joy to myself? Can I end my own aloneness, not just somebody else's aloneness? What is that in me that makes other people feel so happy to have me there, that I'm able to offer to others? Start discovering that within yourself. Become your own best friend. And then, deepen your relationship with God. With that awareness that I am never alone. Because the divine is always there. Everywhere, every minute, every moment, talk to God. So many people are living in situations where there are other people there, but they're hating the people they're with. So they're sitting down to a dinner table, but they're hating those people. They're thinking, I don't want to see their face. You have the beautiful opportunity to sit down at a table with God. Be aware of that. Use this time as a very sacred experience. In almost all of the spiritual traditions of the world, certainly all of the ones I'm aware of, there's a lot of emphasis on taking time alone. There's a very big power in that. So the universe has given this to you. It's not a mistake. It's not a problem to be fixed. If and when there is meant to be another person or people in your life, they'll appear. Keep your door open. Keep your heart open. Put a welcome mat out in front of the house, a welcome mat in front of your heart. But don't let yourself feel like you need it, that there is some lack, because there isn't. You've been given a very, very special piece of sadhana. Purposeful. Use it. Yeah. Absolutely. Other questions? Yes, please. Come. And then you.
Ram, I'm here just to share maybe you will like this, and I would like to spread this through this forum, a good news. I'm professor in IIT Bombay. This is a technology university, and
Yes.
generally students come here for, we expect that they will be, the major motivation would be getting the best job and placement and of course the technological prowess. It is now realized very clearly, last 4 or 5 years, that this is not to design the career and build the future of the country. So in our institute, there is a very successful Yogastha club. At any given point of time, there are 1,500 to 2,000 members of that club.
Wonderful.
Every day there are yoga sessions. On the International Yoga Day, at least 250 to 300 students
Beautiful.
perform 108 Surya Namaskar with the 2 months of practice. So, and in our institute there is a very flourishing research program on the psychological and intellectual impact of yoga-based practices.
Wonderful.
And there are great results. And this now news and this experiment seems to be getting some success. And now Government of India is also very sincerely considering how to replicate that
Beautiful.
in the other institutions.
This is what we need. We need it younger than university. IIT Bombay is, of course, university level and graduate level. But it's never too late. And I hope that as the success of their yoga program grows, we start seeing it younger and younger and younger, because as we were speaking earlier about the best way to raise children in this fast-paced world, I neglected to give one very great piece of advice, which he's just reminded me of, which is get them into yoga class. Get kids doing yoga. It's so good for their bodies. It's so good for their minds. It's so good for their nervous systems. When I was a kid, I did karate. I don't think they had yoga classes for kids when I was a kid. Certainly, I had never heard of it. Nobody I knew had ever heard of it. And just the discipline. In karate class, at the beginning of class, we all had to stand in a line like this for, I don't know, maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes, not a very long period of time. But when you're a kid, that's a really long period of time without moving. But if you so much as scratched your nose, 10 push-ups. Did it again? 20 push-ups. And it seems like a very small, not super significant thing. Maybe even it seems like too much of a punishment. But I have lived my life with this incredibly powerful and important skill, which is to know that just because it itches doesn't mean I have to scratch it. Which in life is actually such an important skill, because it then permeates all of your life, because nobody wants to do 10 push-ups or 20 push-ups. So you learn how to withstand an itchy nose. Try it next time it happens to you. It's actually harder than it sounds. But when you do it, and whatever it is, a tiny little thing like my hair comes in my face and I move it. But if you're conscious and aware, don't move it. Whatever it is, don't fix it. Don't itch it. Don't scratch it. What you'll notice is it actually trains your brain in a way that has ripple impacts far beyond an itch or a hair in your face into your entire reactivity or non-reactivity as a person. Your entire ability to sit in the present moment or not. And when I started doing karate at age 8, so it had a huge impact on me. I can't even imagine what the impact would have been if it were actually yoga with meditation, some pranayama, rather than karate. But even just that discipline, the moves aren't with me anymore. But the discipline is. And so, yeah, get your kids into yoga class. Very important. And if you're a teacher, if you're an educationist, an educationalist, if you've got any impact in schools on kids in any way, the more yoga we can get them doing, get them to sit for meditation, be aware of the breath, do some pranayama, best thing for them. Yeah, yes.
My question is how to maintain peace while you are working against criminals?
How to maintain peace while you're working? What was the last part?
Against criminals.
Working against criminals. Like in a legal situation?
My parents and me, we are working since my childhood because they were in police and army.
Oh, I see.
So I
Okay.
want to understand that how to maintain my peace.
Peace, yeah. So many people choose these really important careers that bring them face to face with darker elements of our societies. People who are bringing harm, bringing violence, working against them. You can only do that work well if you are in peace. That's the point. If you allow their criminalness to infect you, you're not actually going to be able to work very well against them. Then it's just one angry person fighting another angry person. Today this one wins, tomorrow that one wins, but it doesn't actually create a ripple impact of change in the world. The only way to actually bring change is if we are in peace. And the way to be in peace is to realize that although we're energetic beings, and so we absolutely do, we pick up other people's energy. Which is why if you're working in an environment like that, you need to be sure to have a strong spiritual practice, a strong practice of meditation, of prayer, of yoga, of whatever it is that truly washes your mind of where you've just been, who you've just been with. But it also means that you need to take time for yourself to reset. But you should never allow another person's harm, whether you're working against them, whether they're your neighbors, whether they're a family member. You should never allow another person's ignorance, ego, violence, anger to permeate you. If someone is sick, it's like, being a doctor or a nurse in a hospital, you're working with sick people. It's also a very noble profession. But if you get sick every time you walk into the hospital, you're not going to be a good doctor. You've got to figure out a way to treat the patient without getting sick. Doctors wear masks. They have all kinds of systems in place depending on what the patient is sick with. But in the same way, working as police or in army or in so many other areas where in law where you're working against criminals, on energetic levels, we have to put tools in place that protect us. It's not as easy as a face mask. It's not as easy as, disinfectant for our hands. But there are practices. There are practices of working with energy, working with the mind, freeing the mind. mental detoxes, energetic detoxes, spiritual detoxes. And we need it. I mean, we all need it, but especially if you're spending all day long every day with people of a criminal nature. Similarly, working in a hospital, you're going to need extra vitamin C than someone who's not, because you're surrounded by sick people all day. So make sure that you are really engaged in practices that are giving you spiritual immunity, emotional immunity. The yoga, the meditation, the japa, the prayer, but also practices, there's beautiful, beautiful practices that arise out of a Buddhist tradition, but they work so beautifully for everyone. Practices of loving kindness, of metta, of just that very deliberate, very simple practice of wishing everybody well. May you be in peace. May you be safe. May you be secure. It's just a momentary prayer for them. And bringing that in. I remember going to visit a jail in California with Pujya Swamiji many years ago. They had several, visiting religious people would come, but this was the first time that they had Hindu monks come in. Normally they had, priests and ministers, and it was always voluntary, of course. And so usually, 2 or 3 people would come. This was the very first time that every single person in the entire wing came. And we were sitting in this, hall with them, spending an hour, it was maybe 2 hours. And it was such a powerful, powerful time of healing for them. They all ended up going back into their rooms and bringing photos of their families for Pujya Swamiji to put his hands on and bless them. In just a short period of time, the power of spiritual energy, the power of peace, the power of love were so much. And these were, murderers, and it was the wing of, the most violent criminals. But if you walk in carrying love, and you walk in carrying peace, and you walk in carrying compassion, you share that, you spread that. And not only does it keep you anchored and grounded, but it also changes them. But that's work that you've got to do on yourself. And keep doing it and keep doing it. Because ultimately working with people who are criminals, the goal is not just capture them and throw them in jail. The goal is ultimately, eventually, how to change their hearts. We know jail doesn't do it. When they get let out, most recidivism rates are 60, 70%. It's huge. Vast majority of people who get out of jail go back and commit the same crimes again. So what have we achieved? We just took them off the streets for a very temporary period of time. But if you can actually change their hearts, then you've made some deep and lasting progress and impact. But you can only do that if you're anchored and grounded and connected. So, your spiritual practice is the only way, both for you and also for them. Yeah. Wonderful. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. A beautiful morning and day to our family joining from all over the world. And so much love to all of you. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.